All right. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunday night. I had a hellacious headache all day today and went to sleep. I went to sleep medium late last night. Got off the the special live Saturday night live episode with Catherine Callahan, and I hit the wall. I was like, okay, I'm having a meltdown. I need to lay down, and just tossed and turned and did not sleep very well. And I woke up this morning with a hellacious sinus headache, and I said, today is not going to be the day. And so I went to sleep and just basically rested most of the day. And then I was, someone called me and said, hey, have you seen this thing that Andrew Dale wrote? And I said, no, I didn't see this. And they sent it to me, and I was like, oh, that's old. And they're like, no, I think he just put this out. And so I went and looked, and basically what he did is he took a picture that he had made from an old posting, and he had updated the written words to it. And so I said, ooh, this is rather interesting. So because what he wrote was exactly what we were going to be covering this evening. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Kid Rock. Hello, Tara. Hello, Paul. Hello, Eric. Hello, Diane and Diane. Just Diane and Diane Stevens. Welcome, Chris Bunner, Alva. And everybody, welcome to all of you keepers out there, keeping the truth, keeping the truth, keeping the time. Hey, it's time you're here. I want to ask you if you would right now, please, before we get started, just get that like out of the way. Hit the like. If you haven't subscribed, do that now. We are still a new channel. I haven't really been pushing it as much. I haven't been going crazy and asking you to go crazy with that. But if you could, we would like you to do it here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm coming to you on my knees, begging for you to help spread the word. That's what we would like. So here's the deal. We have a lot to talk about tonight, and this is really early on in this situation. We're going to be talking about the city of Muncie, the write-up, the description that I gave for this episode was just a real simple description, and it basically goes as follows. What do you know? Mayor Ridenour is back at it with another harebrained economic development idea, or is back at it with the harebrained economic development ideas. Let's discuss. Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour is back at it with these wild economic development ideas. It's just too bad the citizens of Muncie are held hostage and, like it or not, are along for the ride. It goes on to say that we're going to take a look at Mayor Dan Ridenour's most recent scheme, and we're going to ask the citizens of Muncie if you're done with Dan yet, or if you're wanting more. You know, we're going to be in a situation here just real soon, folks, where you're going to be called upon to make a decision. You're going to be called to walk into a room and go into a little voting box, and you're going to need to pick A or B, or 1 or 2, or up or down, or right or left, whatever you want to call it. Republican, Democrat, wrong or right, night or day, good or evil, whatever you want to say about it. Dan or Jeff. And, I'm here to tell you that as the citizens of Muncie go, a lot of people are telling me at this late hour in the game that they're just real confused. they are really, really confused on which way they're going to go. And to me, I, I hate hearing that. It's been a very quiet election so far. I'm still saying that this election season is at some point going to kick off, and maybe it waits till October. I'll tell you, literally every candidate that I've been talking to, and just because there hasn't been a lot going on, just because my focus hasn't been in Muncie, doesn't mean that I've not been focused on Muncie. I'm focused on everything all the time, at all times, all the time. So just because I've been dealing a lot with, say, Henry County or Madison County, doesn't mean I'm not talking and moving and doing the rounds and whatnot in Muncie. And everyone I'm talking to, all of the elected officials, well, they are telling me that it's coming. It's coming. Don't give up. It's coming. We're going to kick it into high gear here soon. It's the election is going to be is going to be kicked off. Hold on one second. Sorry, someone just texted me a most bizarre comment. This guy I know, and I've known him for a very long time, literally just texted me while I'm talking to you all. He says he's somebody that followed the Perception is Reality and followed my first lives on Facebook. And he just messaged me and he said, "Hey, I got a question for you." Listen to this, Kate. This is going to be good. Do you know the First Amendment auditor that's kind of big on YouTube right now called Civic Duty? He's a First Amendment auditor. Have you heard of this guy? And then he immediately texts me and says, "Oh, I just found a video of you on his channel. Hope all's going well." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll have to get a hold of you. I know him, obviously. I'll get back with you." And so I sent him the link, obviously, here. So if you're here watching, Aaron, welcome. It's been a minute since I've talked to you. It's been a minute since Perception is Reality. So there is a lot to fill you in with, but I'll have to do that at another time. We've got business to take care of this evening. So anyways, the elected officials that I've talked to have said, "Yep, it's coming." And what I've heard, hey there, Aaron Huth. Okay, so you're on Facebook, so you're not going to see most of the commenters. And Facebook is more than fine. You're more than fine to do here. I sent you a link, Aaron, to the YouTube side. If you're free to stay on Facebook. Just most of the people who watch are on the YouTube side, so you won't be able to interact with many people. But either way, it's good to have you here. However you watch, that's all that matters. And if you jump on YouTube, make sure to subscribe so you stay up to date on everything that goes on. Yeah, it's good to talk to you, man. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you and the family is doing fantastic. I hope you're all well. Yeah. Hey, Audie, you like this shirt? Audie Barber. Sorry, there you go. Audie Barber. You see that name? So everybody just keeps saying wait. Like back when I was doing the big reveal on everybody's paperwork being wrong, I was like, well, anytime now, the campaign's getting ready to kick off. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, well, we're waiting until April. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, we're waiting till early voting starts. I'm like, okay. Well, we're waiting until the 1st of May. I'm like, all right. Well, then it's like, well, now the election's over. We're going to get through this summer, but as soon as summer's over, we're going to kick this election into high gear. So we'll see. What I'm afraid of, and I'm just going to tell you how it is. What I'm really afraid of is The Republican Party here in the state of Indiana has just become so ginormous. So, we're so overbearing. It's busted through. It's over everything. It's in charge of everything. The Republicans are in every facet of everything. The faucet, they need to be jammed down the toilet hole instead. They've been in every facet of everything, that they feel like they're so powerful that they just have this all wrapped up. Everything's wrapped up. So there's no call for them to go to any events. And I feel like a lot of the Democrats are like, well, they've got it in these positions, and so we're just going to do our thing, and it's going to be really quiet. And I'm fine with a quiet election. I'm okay with that. A lot of people would prefer it. But the issue that I sometimes have with that is when you're just out and you're saying, well, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do if I'm elected, everyone's like, okay, this is great. And that's the thing. And what happens is the low information voters will say, well, the council that's up there now, they're not doing a bad job. Most of the people don't know that there are some people that are on the council now that won't be on the council next time. And they're just like, well, we're just going to vote and keep everybody in place and where it needs to be. And in some places that's all right. But specifically here in East Central Indiana, we really need a change up in a lot of ways, and in mayor's offices, in council seats. And if people aren't getting an understanding, of what's going on, what's wrong, and what can be done right versus what is currently happening, then they have nothing really to compare what's going on, because people look out and they say, well, all right, Ridenour's not doing too bad of a job. Because I want to be honest. I want to be honest. If you aren't paying attention, the things that Ridenour are doing, lots of people aren't picking up on. Lots of people just think, well, he's not getting handcuffed out, and the FBI is not investigating him yet. So he's got to be doing something well. And the problem is that's not good enough. That is not okay. That's not what we should base what a good mayor is. Well, he's not being arrested, so he must be a good mayor. That's not true at all. So I'm just hoping that the truth on all aspects of this is coming out. The truth being what people are doing wrong, and the truth being what people want to do right. All of this needs to start coming forward. And for the people that are beating the doors, knocking the doors, and doing pervasive, thank you. I should have looked at that. They're very pervasive. It was rotting my brain. The people that are out campaigning and knocking doors, keep at it, keep doing that. That's good. But it's just been a really quiet election. It's been very, very strange. So, okay. What am I talking about tonight? The topic at hand, what I'm going on about right now is the fact that our mayor seems to be entering into some kind of bizarre new economic development situation. Here is the thumbnail for tonight's show. Too good to be CRU. Play on the words too good to be true. Alva said just a little bit ago, he said, surely not, or something to that effect. Surely he's not, he doesn't have, another harebrained idea. And I'm like, no, he's got another one. He's got another one. And then there's another one. And then there's another one, I think, in there. So I want to read to you this piece that Andrew Dale put together. He published this on his social media about 11 hours ago. Give me a second here. And he titled this Puppet Show in the Round. The etymology of I apologize. I'm going to butcher some of these words. The etymology of snollygoster is a person not guided by principles, especially a politician. Our mayor, Dan Ridenour, from my perspective, is 2 parts snollygoster and 1 part tomfoolerist. An individual who tells tales in buffoonish ways. Top it off with a splash of solepopism, to be self-centered, and you've got a front row seat to the puppet show act performed in the round by our mayor, which nobody should be subjected to. Yet those who live in Muncie really don't have that option presently. The opening act, 2020, laid bare for all to see our mayor's deficiency as a broker of trust. All right. Now we're going to list some events that occurred in 2020. White River Canal Project, gross overpayment for the Ratchford property. All right. What am I talking about? The Ratchford property. What's he talking about? The Ratchford property payment. This is a situation in which the mayor paid vastly over what the property was worth. We've talked about this on this program many, many, many times. This, of course, was a friend of the mayor's, and it was a situation where he goes in and says, this is something that we need to do now. We don't have time. We must do it. And if we miss this opportunity, it's never going to be available again. And by the time it is available, it's going to be lots and lots and lots and lots more money. So we've got to do this right now. And it was a bad deal for the city of Muncie. All right, moving on. Muncie Industrial Revolving Loan Fund, Grant County owned land, vastly undersold in the 11th hour. Request by mayor of the loan fund board. All right, what are we talking about there? Something else that we've talked about on this program lots and lots and lots of different times. This was a situation in which the city of Muncie owned property in another county. Why did we own property in another county? Well, at some point in Muncie's history, there was a business that asked for a loan through the revolving loan fund, and they said, if we can't pay this back, we're putting this property up as collateral, basically. And if we don't fulfill our obligation, you will then own this property. Well, guess what? They didn't fulfill their obligations. So the city of Muncie now owns this land up in Grant County. And when it came time for Mayor Ridenour to find out about this, for whatever reason, he was dead set on making money for the city of Muncie. He, through his own wisdom, and he's never explained why, sold this in a deal where the city of Muncie made pennies on the dollar. It was ridiculous what happened, and we've talked about this, and I'm going to speed through these because we've talked about this over and over and over. We've had 3 years of this, folks. If you're watching this at this point and you're listening to this and you've been around for a while, you've heard all about this. This is something that you have heard and heard and heard, so we don't need to spend 30 minutes going over each piece. And I'm going to tell you, while I'm reading, I'm going to be off screen, so you'll be able to see me, but I won't be able to see your comments. So if something big happens, Kate, call me, but I'm going to be off screen while I'm reading his piece here. Okay, moving on. That's the second. The third, lopsided city-county land swap. Well, we know what that is. We're talking about that's the situation where we, the city of Muncie, swapped land with Delaware County. They got a good deal. We got an old broke down jail that was not really useful for anything. Yes, it was in the city center of town, but it was going to take a lot of money to fix it up or tear it down or do anything with. And so we kind of got a shit deal there. Okay. So that was the next thing. And this is all 2020, folks. All right. Let's go on from there. Next was the whole Toohey Park YMCA disaster. What am I talking about? Well, the mayor came out and announced in early 2020 that he and the YMCA had thought up this brilliant plan to close Muncie's only pool and to disrupt a park in the downtown center of Muncie and put the YMCA there. And he did this without coming to the council, without any kind of, hey, would this be something that people are interested in? It was presented as like, this is something that's a done deal. This is what we want to do. This is what's going to happen. And everybody was like, whoop, slope, stop, slam on the brakes. And that was one of the first big things that the mayor did. Everybody was like, what in the hell? This is really weird. Remember, I moved to City Hall for that 3-day period until the mayor decided to talk to me. It was a big ordeal. And so that was a cluster. He ended up not doing that, but that was one of the first things where I was like, wait a minute. Maybe the mayor isn't so transparent after all. Maybe he's not willing to slow government down and talk with us about things. He's just willing to do things and then tell us afterwards. So that's when I really decided I'm really going to have to keep my eye on this guy. All right, moving on to the next nonsensical thing that he did in 2020. Lavish financial support of Justice Center Housing Project and Accutech. All right. The money that's been paid to Accutech and all of that has been just absolutely crazy. Store Estates using MRC as the developer of the project. Mayor talks big about Riverside Infrastructure Project, ... Just wait. Payments without question for Caliber Engineering, lopsided invoicing, and state of the city proclamation that the Muncie Mall will be back. These things were happening, folks, and it was all chaotic. It was all left people scratching their heads, and there's never been any answers. Like, why were we, and hell, I haven't looked in a bit, but are we still paying Caliber Engineering bizarre amounts of money for doing God knows what at this point? We haven't been in a relationship with Caliber Engineering since Brian Stevens Hotop left, and that was at least 1.5 years ago, but we still paid them. And remember, when Brian Stevens Hotop was here, he was the highest paid employee anywhere. I don't think we found another person that paid and made anywhere even close to him. He was making like $430,000 a year for working in the city of Muncie. It was insane. All right. Andrew Dale goes on. Second act, 2021, reveals deception. Failed attempts for the sun to come up on the mayor's solar project because the project couldn't demonstrate financial benefit for the citizens of Muncie, but certainly would have for the developer. Who was the developer? Well, the developer was the first cousin of a sitting city council person, Aaron Clark. Did they disclose any of that? Was there any kind of conflict of interest paperwork signed or anything? Oh no, we had to find that out through our investigation, through citizens' own investigations digging into this. All right. That's something that you would think that this new government that came in after in 2020 forward would have said, hey, that's probably something that we need to be upfront and honest about, so there is no even appearance of impropriety. But no, they just left that where that was. All right. Performance services. It would have been a boondoggle, folks. It would have been a boondoggle. Clear, just absolutely No question. It was a disaster. And even though it got stopped, even though it didn't go through, it still cost the city of Muncie, and it's currently costing the city of Muncie right now as we speak. Right now as we speak. All right. Okay, I'm back on the screen here for a second. I see that there's some questions here. And so is the mall still in foreclosure? I believe what happened was is that there is the bank bought it back. I don't believe it is still in foreclosure, but nothing is currently going on with it. It is just waiting. I think the last thing I heard was that let me go up here and take a look at this because I know give me just one sec. Well, let me finish this and I'll come back to that. I don't believe it is still in foreclosure. Let's say that. And then I will get that towards the end of the program. Okay. That's where we are. Are there any other questions? Yes, this is an Audie Barber shirt. I don't specifically have a link for it, but if you talk with Audie Barber, maybe he can take care of you on a shirt or whatnot. But I think Audie might be here in the comments, but hopefully Audie can take care of you there. Okay, so let me now get along back to Andrew Dale here. Moving on. Okay. That was we talked about the boondoggle. That was performance services. That was the failed attempt for the solar project. Okay. Store Estates. He was still dangling Store Estates over everyone's head. Store Estates. Ooh, it's gonna come. Just hold your breath. Southway Plaza Development. It's a big deal, folks. We've got a great developer, Brick Red Systems, from the great big state of Washington. Just wait. They're going to come in here. We're going to have a wonderful gateway on the south side of Muncie, welcoming people into the city as they pour through the doors, either off 67 or off Old 3 as they're coming into Muncie. We're going to have a wonderful place to eat. There's going to be stores. People's going to be there. It's going to be just an amazing thing. You walk down by that place now, it looks like it is an old, rundown organization that a bunch of pimps got together and painted this some kind of bizarre pimp color from like the 1970s. This thing is like brown, purple, and gold. It's a bizarre building with a whole bunch of chaos surrounding it. They've got nonsense going out in the front. They've got weeds and trash around the building. Nothing's coming. And the mayor keeps telling everybody that's been asking questions about this, oh, it's the heating and the air. We've had trouble for 3 years for heating and air. They can't get anybody in to fix the heating and air. Listen, I don't even know, and this is just off the cuff. I'm sure, hey, Dan Ridenour, give Audie Barber a call. He might be able to go down there and fix that for you. I'm not even sure that Audie can do heating and air, but I guarantee you he could do better than what they're currently doing. Charlize says it looked better before anything was done. Yeah, it was an empty building that just sat empty. Now, oh yeah, Mary, listen, it's got like fur collar, trim, and everything. Like, I know there's like a crunk cup and a cane out there somewhere. I guarantee you, someone's like all walking around. I'm telling you, it's you remember when Kramer became the pimp? We've played it on this show before, and we've got a strike when I was on the other channel. So I'm not going to play it now because I know that it gets you a strike. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, type in Seinfeld Kramer pimp, and you will see exactly what Ridenour has turned the Southway Plaza into. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, moving on. Okay, so now we are here to Riverside project ongoing. Our mayor claims now, wait, that it's a DAC, Delaware Advancement Corp, and next Muncie project. But be patient. Okay, that Muncie Mall, he said it. It's coming back. Isn't buyer's market proof that blind hope works? Buyer's market, anybody? Buyer's market? Anybody? Anybody been out to buyer's market? Choo. All right. The third act, 2022, includes big lies via big plans. All I got to say is I have two words. Michael's Place. Anybody remember Michael's Place? I mean, it seems like 5 years since we talked about Michael's Place. But that just happened it was just felt like the other day. Michael's Place, plagued by our mayor's complete lack of due diligence and Horizon Company's CEO's well-chronicled criminal history. Dan literally Dan got catfished. Dan got catfished. Huh! Can you believe that? Dan literally was catfished, man. Charlize is still waiting for Spicer's phone call. I wish he would have given you the phone number, because if you would have dialed it, you would dial it, and he'd pick up the phone and he'd say, wrong number, who dis? I guarantee you that's not even a thing anymore. Those are all burner phones. Absolute. Absolutely ridiculous. Michael's Place, folks. That's all. I mean, that can all just be summed up with Michael's Place. All right, moving on. we the taxpayers, purchased the downtown YMCA. Could we not have simply secured an option to purchase, which a lot of governments do? No. We needed to give them $500,000. We'll talk more about that later. Store estates again. Lagging so far behind that MRC has to actually return a prospective purchaser's down payment on a lot. This means people actually gave money to be a down payment on a lot. And because the things are going so badly there, they had to return money. Man, that is a horrible situation. East Side Hotel Study. Read about the study and the fanfare words by our mayor, but received only a whisper back when the facts revealed of little support. Southway Plaza Development. We're on the tarmac, folks. We'll get you some snacks for the wait. I mean, it's just, this has been going on so long. You know, there's always that joke. How long have you been married? And the husband said it feels like 15 minutes. And the wife says, yeah, with your head underwater. You know, we've been waiting for this and 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 waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Charlize, she's been on it with the hotel. That's something that she's been asking about and asking about and asking about. And as she just put there, the East Side Hotel, dead. All right. Let's move along here. Let's see. Riverside. Now remember, that's someone else's responsibility, and those utility companies are dragging their feet. And did I mention that our mayor said that the Muncie Mall will find its way back to 1980? And now we're in the fourth act, 2023. Less Shakespearean and more cheap nonfiction, but it reads like fiction. This year's act wouldn't be complete without a mayor spending $45,000 of economic development funds on bringing Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Don McLean to town to sing for an hour to help send which is just absolutely insane. All right. We're also going to be helping send a Munsonian dog for who knows how much of the public's tax dollars to Europe for the world's best dog show contest. Wouldn't it be nice if the mayor increased the budget for the animal shelter instead? Like, folks, I got to tell you something. Yeah, I'll sing for an hour for half that. I tell you what, if he'd give me $10, I'd walk up on stage and play a CD of it, and it would be better. It would literally be better. Let me tell you something here. I am a dog person. I actually wrote about this. I wrote about this the other day, and we didn't have a chance to talk about this. I had said that the mayor had said this in a community update, and I said, listen, I'm a dog person through and through. I absolutely love them. Matter of fact, I'm in the beginning stages of thinking about looking into the possibility of seeing about getting a puppy partner for a lifetime of puppy love and puppy enjoyment. But something in Muncie has me and many others howling like hound dogs. So let's discuss. Mayor Ridenour's most recent boneheaded campaign stunt, which I believe should have him in the doghouse. How many more of these do I have to do? Contractually, Brandon said I needed at least 3 more. All right, let's do it. During the most recent community update from Wednesday, August 16th, 2023, Mayor Dan stated the city would be helping 2 private individuals from the Muncie area, Amber and Haley, along with their dog Luca, travel to Switzerland for the World Dog Show later this month. Amber and Haley own the Muncie business called Ruse Holistic Pet Supplies, and this is an awesome experience for them. It really is. The fact that they won the Westminster Dog Show in New York, I guess a couple weeks ago, that's awesome. Like, I'm not taking that away from them. It's cool. As private citizens, this is awesome. And the city should be welcoming them and talking about them and doing all of that. Paying for them? However, this has me scratching my head like I have fleas because I'm just not sure why city tax dollars would be funding a trip to Europe. However, exactly what the tax dollars are funding, I don't know. What's the grand total of this expense? I mean, look, this sounds nice and wonderful and all, and I know that this is a great way for the mayor to buy some support and votes for his re-election campaign, just a few months out from an election. But how does this help city? How does this help economic development? Is this really a sound economic development deal, or is this just the mayor digging a hole a little deeper? I issued a records request to the city of Muncie on Friday, August 18th, asking for an itemized list of expenditures, a grand total of the money paid for this, what account and what fund this is being paid out of. All right? I want to let you know what I did when I did that. Okay? Before I sent the records request, I did what I've done every time I've needed to know about a payment since the Cannon administration. I emailed the controller, the keeper of the money, the lord of the coin, what all that other nonsense that Niemeyer used to say every time he would get up and talk. Man, I miss him. Good Lord, I used to think, God, I can't wait when this guy will get up and not say this stupid crap and he'll shut up and we'll have somebody. But who would have thought that I would actually miss Niemeyer? I wish I would love to get up on a Wednesday morning, turn on the Board of Works, and hear Niemeyer get up and say some nonsense as he stepped up to the podium instead of what we've got going on. Even into this administration, anytime I've had a question about expenditures, I've emailed first Trent when Trent was the controller, then Wright when Wright became the controller. And you know what? Every time I've asked the question, they have answered it. Except for Friday. Friday, I asked this question. And you know what Wright told me? That per policy, and per policy that I should know, all questions and requests like this needs to go through the proper, he wrote, FOIR request. Freedom of Information Records. I don't know what he was trying to say. Anyways, I know what he was trying to say. I don't know what he wrote. I wrote him back and I was like, are you for real? You've given me this answer for the whole entire time you worked here, and Trent did before that, and all controllers have back since Dan Cannon was in office. What's the deal? So I sent this then to the HR department, pissed off that the controller was now telling me he could not send me very, very simple information. And upon sending a records request to the HR department, I get a message that tells me that the HR director is off on FMLA. Hopefully someone there will be able to deal with this request in the time that she's off on FMLA. Obviously, there is a problem that's going on. I don't know what that is. If it's medical, if it's some other issue, I wish her very well. I do not want anything bad to happen to her. And I will make sure, that we wish her all well. But that being said, the business of the city still must go on. So, we'll see what happens. I want to know how much we're paying on this. I want to know what's happening. All right, moving on from there. We go back to Andrew Dale. World's Best Dog Show. Wouldn't it be better if we increased the money for the animal shelter instead? Our mayor claims that he increased the property values and that our per capita income has risen by $9,000. Thanks, Andrew says. I didn't know that you had done that. I thought that was the economy, stupid. Come to think of it, what you've stated can't be true, because nearly 1 in 3 people in the city of Muncie live in poverty. How about that much needed crisis center? Remember that? Does anybody remember the crisis center? Our mayor stated that it would be up and running by September, October of this year. Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember the crisis center? Remember back when I said it was a campaign stunt? I'm sure he used it for tax dollars, I'm sure he used it for campaign contributions. Does anybody remember that? There's no talk about it now. Our mayor stated that it would be up and running by September, October of this year. It must not be a crisis to our mayor. The highly ill-conceived mayor requested takeover of State Road 32, the whole thing from city line to city line in perpetuity. Continued revelations of the city's YMCA fleecing of the city of Muncie during and duping Dan. 2 new firehouses to be constructed for $18 million via a developer. Wait for it. Who's the first cousin of city councilman Aaron Clark. Store Estates equates the story. Delayed. Southway Plaza development. We've never lost a plane when it's been idling on the tarmac, but yet here we are. Houston, we have a problem.
Kristopher?
Yes?
Can you go back?
Yes.
They want $18 million to do the firehouses.
Yep.
And the gentleman who they're giving the contract to is the same one that they were trying to do the solar farms with?
Yep.
Aaron Clark's cousin. So this
Yep.
kid's just got his heart really set on $18 million, because wasn't that the solar farms price tag?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I was just making sure that I was not.
Wait a minute. I'm glad you said that, because I knew it was. We figured out that it was the cousin, but that's true. 18 and 18.
Yeah, they're both 18 million.
And
they're both going to the same person.
Someone needs to look and make sure this kid's like not in debt to somebody like to the tune of $17 million.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
That's really bizarre.
Okay, I was just checking. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't put that together. That's really amazing. Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy. Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, on we go. We'll have to look into that a little bit more. That's really interesting. Houston, we have a problem. Riverside, it'll be done in 2 weeks. That was back in May. And how about the Muncie Mall? Andrew goes on to say, what triggered this writing is our mayor's most recent shenanigans of presenting to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission that he's been working with the developer for some time to build townhouses in the McKinley neighborhood, when in fact the developer just legally set up shop last month. How can we trust this snollygoster who pitched the current housing project, City View Homes, as a home ownership project, when in fact it's a low-income housing tax credit project where a 15-year period of affordability is needed to be satisfied before an individual can purchase the property to be their home? That's simply deceitful. Andrew says he served on the Muncie Redevelopment Commission for a couple of years, and he did his best to support the mayor, who chose to also serve as the MRC director. Andrew says he wrote the memorandum below on or about Friday, February 2020, to the mayor and to his fellow MRC members. Provided our recommendations to a manageable and effectively execute Muncie Redevelopment Commission business from February 2020 through March of 2021. Specifically, the recommendations seek to equip and provide MRC members with information, training, and resources to create both short and long-term strategies to advance worthwhile communities and economic development efforts. 1. Bi-monthly, twice-monthly meetings through March 31st, 2021, with first meeting of the month dedicated to common business of MRC and second meeting pertinent to educational activities designed to equip both executive director and commission members for decision-making, examples including project financing 101, TIF 101, interactions with other municipal and community entities, mayor's land banking task force 101, and 101 on CDBG and home program funding and national objectives. Historic preservation, planning and zoning 101, next Muncie, etc., and economic development strategic sessions. Number 2, compile listing of all local, regional, state, and national community and economic development entities whose focus impacts Muncie, Indiana, and construct a map showing areas of service with special emphasis of areas of mutual interest. 3, if not already available, create a map showing locations of all active MRC projects, overlay districts, historic preservation areas, TIF districts, land bank, and MRC-owned parcels of property. Cessation of action on all unsolicited, moderate to significant income development requests involving MRC participation until ensuring activities are completed. Review of current short and long-term MRC project financing obligations. Conduct an operational, construction, and compliance and financial audits of all existing MRC-funded projects, and if warranted, conduct investigative audits. This is not intended to be an exhaustive process, but rather a well-paced exercise to identify obstacles and opportunities. Review the MRC project review policies, procedures for awarding and oversight, administration, and close out of projects and activities. If not available, create it. Conduct a cost and deliverables analysis for the value of city-based engineering services versus project-by-project contractual engineering services. All the above to be completed by September 30th, 2020. Conduct an MRC Coordinated Community and Economic Development Summit in early October of 2020 with ensuring activities through February of 2021. Evaluate the usefulness of a comprehensive entity and governance support structure to better execute community and economic development activities. Conduct review of each of Muncie's municipal tax increment finance TIF districts relative to a new post-project viability value versus sunset termination, and no later than March 31st, 2021, presentation of the 48th month Strategic Economic Development Plan supported by both illustrative design and action plan documents and an abridged prospectus for community consumption in a memorandum. In summary, this is Andrew Dale speaking, we can't realize our best future by being a city of people who are spoon-fed, bit by bit, plans of actions from someone behind a curtain. We must plan in community where ideas and visions are challenged and made better by listening and participation, and then and only then acting on agreed plans of action. Our mayor doesn't do that because he both doesn't know how to and because he believes he knows best. Worse yet, it is not in his interest. We do not need a puppeteer. We need a conveyor of discussion, a truth teller, a servant leader. And this, ladies and gentlemen, concludes Andrew Dale's statement. Yes, we are going to do I don't know if it's going to be a candidate forum or we're just going to do candidate interviews. I don't know. We're going to have to see what's going on, but we are going to send that out to everybody. I've made the list and we're going to do that. Ideas and project completion are two very different things. Charlize, that's very important. Now, before we dig any further into this, I'm going to talk about what our issue is at hand, because I want to make sure we do not gloss over the absolute big picture problem that I'm currently talking about. You will all remember, and we went through this in pretty quick detail last week, okay? Does the city provide money to MRC? Yes. The MRC is the Muncie Redevelopment Commission is a board that is created by the city. It is mayor and council appointed. The mayor appoints the majority of the members of the board. I think the council appoints one or two members, and the mayor appoints everybody else. It's a 5-member board. The mayor's appointments are all people very close to him. I am going. Yes. Yes, Mary, I am including them. I'm including them. I'm going to include candidates from anywhere. Basically, if there's a candidate that wants to come on and talk to me, if he or she has opponents, and it is so hot in here. Is the air not on? What is going on? Mayor Ridenour and his harebrained ideas.
You're talking about Dan Ridenour and his harebrained ideas. Of course it's hot in your house.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. He's got me absolutely pissed. Okay, so we're gonna look at this this thing right here because this is important to look back on. We glossed over it the other day, but I need to show you guys some very important issues. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Listen carefully to what he says.
I have one other that's not on the agenda that I just received yesterday. So we received a proposal for some townhomes on McKinley. And it's from a local company, CRU Construction. And it just shows, so basically what I've been working with them for some time, the owners of that company.
Okay, so listen to what he said. I want to talk to one last thing that's not on the agenda. It just came to my attention yesterday. I've been working with these people for some time, okay?
Company, and townhomes is one of the things that we want in that neighborhood, along with single family home construction as well. And I think it fits well. So I gave them the design standards. They have gone through and put in what they would like to do. We own the lots. I'm not asking you to sell the lots at this time. We have to figure out what this means. They're just saying this is what we would like to build along Walnut.
What did he just say? They own the lots. I'm not asking you to sell the lots at this time. What do you mean you're not asking? They own the lots. Why would you? What does that mean?
It's from a local company, CRU Construction. And it just shows, so basically what I've been working with them for some time, the owners of that company, and townhomes is one of the things that we want in that neighborhood, along with single family home construction as well. And I think it fits well. So I gave them the design standards. They have gone through and put in what they would like to do. We own the lots.
We own the lots.
I'm not asking you to sell the lots at this time. We have to figure out what this means. They're just saying this is what we would like to build along Walnut Street, right across from Muncie Central. These would be home ownership, so they would be for sale. So they're willing to construct and make those available for sale. And that was also very pleasing to me. It would be a couple lots that are owned by DAC, where we purchased the property, that are owned by DAC, and there are a couple lots that are owned by MRC. But essentially it would be, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, exactly what these addresses are, but because of the zoning, they're allowed to do, we'll have to go to planning and get some of those addresses changed, but they would be building 6 townhomes is what their proposal is, with garages in the back, green space behind the houses, some green space in front. I believe, you know, they've designed, they know the standards from our variance board and zoning planning commission. I'm not saying it complies with everything. I don't know. We haven't dug into that far. But I think it's a very legitimate request. And so at the next meeting, we'll probably ask for some type of action. I just wanted you to be aware that we do have an interest from a local builder to build 6 townhomes that would be available for sale And that, I think, will be helpful for that neighborhood to have some additional home ownership. It does not involve the corner or Columbus Avenue at this particular time. It is lots that are on Walnut. So probably 710, 712, whatever those numbers are, ones that are not on that corner. And so they have a little packet there of some things that they would like to see, but we're just in the beginning phases. So what we need to do now is we need to figure out how it works, what they're going to do, what the timing is. Obviously, we don't want to necessarily provide lots to somebody and then they sit for 3 years and then they sell them. So I would want to put in some conditions, and I've talked with DAC about this, of construction has to begin within a certain time frame or the lots come back to the MRC. So those types of things. But I wanted you to be aware that that is probably something you're going to see next time. I know Jonathan is here. I told him this is just a proposal he brought to me. We've talked about it, but they have seriously gone in and designed some homes that would, and they fit the design standards that the neighborhood requested.
Yeah, he doesn't mention.
So I'm really excited that maybe at the next meeting we might be able to do something.
Really
but he's here if anybody wants to ask him questions, or we can have Jonathan come back next month as well.
Why would he be here? This is not on the agenda. This is such a setup. Ridenour is such a fraud, man. Such a fraud. Now, the gentleman, Yoko, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. Why? He's like, we're not talking about selling them now. Why is that happening? I don't know. Are we going to gift them? Is it going to be some kind of a deal where they're going to get them for $1 on, for the lot, or, because they're talking about, I think they end up talking about 6 lots or something like that. But the people that he's talking to, listen, I've got no issue with a private business. I'm not concerned with the actions of a private business. I have no interest in digging into a private business until that private business enters into or attempts to enter into a relationship with the city, getting tax dollars, getting funds that are tax dollars. And then at that point, they have allowed themselves to be in a position. He said they want to work out a deal where if they don't develop them, that they would come back to the city. That isn't something they usually arrange if an entity purchases the properties. Absolutely. That's exactly correct. That's exactly right. So that is something that's really strange, and it'll be interesting. And you better bet your butt that I haven't marked on the calendar in great big letters for the MRC meeting that will be in September, because he's saying that they will have something on the agenda for then. So I will be there. Well, Joey Simpson, the green space. Look, I want to make sure that everyone's aware the lots that we're talking are just like deep center of city lots. So that you're just talking about like a rectangle. So the house would be at the front. You would have a little bit of a building, and you would basically have a grass area is basically the green space they're talking about. It's just a yard, a small section of yard. It would be it would be them right now. Real estate is crazy. Why wouldn't they sell? Yeah, right. Why wouldn't they do that? What is going on here? There's a lot of question here. This is who we're talking about working with. CRU Construction, LLC, domestic limited liability company. Creation date was the 12th of July, 2023. Jonathan Chambliss. And this is what's going on here. What's this next? Okay. Business name. Okay. This is something that was set up in. Now this is weird. Okay, so on this registered agent's information, it was a Brotherton address. This, it's a Kettner address. And this is Bill's Interior, LLC, Bliss Antillery, Bill's Interior. The principal office address is P.O. Box in Daleville. Yeah, that's what he's been working for him a long time, and they've been around for a while. Well, because I want to show you something here in a moment. This is Slant Design Studio, and this has been up now. Here's back to having the Brotherton address, Jonathan. Kate, is there any way you can put up in there the thing that I sent you that showed that they had those the third thing I sent you, or the fourth thing I sent you? Did I send you a fourth thing in Messenger? Maybe not. Maybe I can just put it up on the thing. Let me see here if I've got it in Messenger. Okay. If we look here, here is a picture, and this is of Muncie area. Muncie area, buy it, trade it, sell it, no advertising. Jonathan Chambliss. Workman's Bar Furniture, Hoyt and 8th. See pictures, tables, chairs, booths, bar stools sold. Cash only, make reasonable offer, and it's yours. So he's somehow involved in the whole ordeal with the Workman's Bar Crisis Center. So the question is here, who's this guy? What's the deal? For some time, the mayor's been talking about this. He and Jonathan talked about this, so Jonathan created a company so he could build what Dan wanted. I mean, what exactly is the situation here? Yeah, Annie, this is a really strange thing because I know the name. I know the name of this guy. I've never seen him before, and I know that he is someone who's been around in the young up and coming business entrepreneur. Here, let me buy 3 houses and flip it. Let me go and see what's happening there and go see what's going on. So that is what I think. It's just interesting to see. Could Chambliss be one of the letters that is involved with the EBCGI letters? We don't know. Who knows what's going on? That's just all but stopped, like I said. So who knows what's happening there. I don't know. You never know. Stumblefoot, who are you talking about? He wants his hand in the he wants his hand in the cookie jar, sounds like. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. I have some record requests in also for emails between the mayor and Jonathan. Again, going back to what I said, the HR director is out. So who knows how long it's going to be to get these record requests. I would like to think that they've got someone that'll step right up to the plate and do the same thing. Other times when she's been out for, just a couple period days here, there, we're doing different things. They've had no issue, but thinking that she's out on FMLA, when I got that email, I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. All connections come back to Dan Ridenour. He is the puppeteer. Andrew Dale. That's exactly correct. Absolutely correct. All connections come back to Andrew Dale. If the mayor and the MRC want to sell these lots to the builder, shouldn't they be requesting proposals, RFP from the public? That's the other thing, Jackie. First and foremost, okay. First and foremost, Dan talks about RFPs all the time. So why isn't he mentioning that here? Why is that something that he's not talked about here? But more importantly, what you're saying is Yoko brought that up, and she's probably right on that. It doesn't sound like the mayor's wanting to sell these properties. If the mayor's not wanting to sell these properties, if they're going to enter into some kind of bizarro deal that Dan and them have cooked up, where it's going to be some kind of a traded situation to where if something falls through, this is whatever gifted back or whatever's going on with that. It doesn't sound like this is something that he's wanting to go through that process and do. But again, it's all stuff where you're flying under the radar. You're not having the council's involvement. You're not going to the council to get the council to be involved in any of this. And you go through the MRC and you have them do just enough. So because what Ridenour says, if you notice, and he said it as I was queuing this video up before the show tonight, the project that he talked about right before this one, he says, well, now that I have the board support, now that I know what to do, and I have board approval, now I have a direction to go. None of this is the board telling Ridenour what to do. This is Ridenour having a plan, wanting to do something, telling these people how they're going to vote, what they're going to do. They vote along with the way he goes. And then he says, look, now I've got the support, because that's always been my gripe. He's not taking this through the proper channels and he's just doing whatever. Well, now he's able to say, well, look, I've got MRC support, MRC vote. Well, I don't really trust that board at this juncture to be doing what's necessarily right, specifically when it seems like they're so concerned with doing whatever Dan wants them to do. So, I just don't know. It's really crazy. I also want to point something else out here just briefly. This is from, give me a second. I'm going to look at this here. See what I've got some minutes from, okay. I've got MRC notes here from minutes from the City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission met on Thursday, October 20th, 2022 at 9 a.m. in the City Hall auditorium, first floor, blah, 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 blah. All right, give me a second here as I get down to the part where I need, these are, okay. Yep. Right here we go. Let's take a look at this and see if everyone remembered this back when this was going on. Okay. It was like he was doing a dress rehearsal, Jackie. That's exactly right. Or he was just reliving something that they had done back last October. Let's take a look at these. MRC minutes from October of last year. Okay, I want to make sure everyone knows so they know I'm not editing anything. We are looking here at the minutes from the City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. Okay, this is from Thursday, October 20th, 2022. Now, we're going to go down through here. You see this is 8 pages. There's 8 pages involved with here. We're going to go down because what we're talking about, we're going to be looking for here's the acquisition of YMCA property, Eastside Hotel, Ready District zoning changes. Look, McKinney Live Learn Neighborhood DAC acquisitions. All right. Now, that's what we're looking for here. Let's go down to the highlighted section. Request for property purchases. All right. Mayor Ridenour stated a local builder, True Builders. Now, look at how they spelled True Builders. True is spelled T-R-U. Look at how they spell crew. C-R-U. That's interesting. All right. Let's go a little bit further. A local builder, True Builders, is interested in purchasing 3 lots in McKinney's Live Learn neighborhood. The MRC owns 808 North Mulberry, 836 North Jefferson, and 726 North Jefferson. The local builder does zero net carbon construction. The offer, MRC regular, okay, the offer is $1,000 per property with the intent of putting a single family home in those areas. The mayor's intent is to get all of those lots on the tax roll and provide new housing for residents. Jeff Howell asks if these lots have been offered for sale previously. Mayor Ridenour stated yes. Legal counsel stated the deed will be quitclaim deed. Legal counsel suggested to make a motion to approve the sale of 808 North Mulberry, 836 North Jefferson, and 726 North Jefferson to Jonathan Chambliss for not less than $1,000 by virtue of a quitclaim deed. Lorraine Tomlin moved to approve. Shireen Wegley provided a second. Commissioners Steve Perbella, Lorraine Tomlin, Sharon Wegley, Jeff Howell voted yay. Motion passed. Legal counsel stated for clarity that because these properties were previously offered at public sale and did not receive bids and greater that 30 days have elapsed, that MRC is empowered to enter private negotiations and no longer bound by any prior appraisals that would have locked in that price for a certain amount of time. Okay.
Just an interesting side note for you. If you do a search for the name True Builders in the Indiana Secretary of State, there is a company called True Builders. They are out of Gary, Indiana. And it is all one word, True Builders. So there's nothing listed under the name True Builders in Muncie. to be doing this project, to be selling property too.
So, okay. So my question would be then, what's the deal here?
Huh?
Well, I mean, what? So what's the deal? I
don't know.
Because
I'm just confused.
Yeah, it obviously says Jonathan Chambliss. Oh, how are we pronouncing this guy's name? How do you pronounce it?
Chambliss.
Chambliss, is that what you're saying? Okay, we'll
That's
stick
what
with
I'm
that.
saying.
Chambliss. So Jonathan Chambliss. What was going on in October? Did they just say like, oh, well, we're going to be True Builders, and then they realized that, oh, that's taken. Oh shit, we need another name, so they became Crew Builders.
But they waited until July to do it.
But okay, what were the properties? The properties here that they bought were. Let's go back and get these. The properties here that they bought were 808 Mulberry, 836 Jefferson, and 726 Jefferson. What were the properties here that they bought?
Oh, here she goes. There's Annie. I'll go
True
away.
Builders website lists Muncie address along with one in Kansas City.
But I can't find them in the Secretary of State's website.
That's weird.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Meeting, that would be fine.
I don't know that I can recall what was the notice about, what.
Walk through it.
I don't want to have any challenges. 3, 2. So basically what I've been working with them for some time, the owners of that company, and townhomes is one of the things that we want in that neighborhood, along with single family home construction as well. And I think it fits well. So I gave them the design standards. They have gone through and put in what they would like to do. We own the lots. I'm not asking you to sell the lots at this time. We have to figure out what this means. They're just saying this is what we would like to build along Walnut Street, right across from Muncie Central. These would be home ownership, so they would be for sale. So they're willing to construct and make those available for sale. And that was also very pleasing to me.
Oh, pleasing.
It would be a couple lots that are owned by DAC, where we purchased the property, that are owned by DAC, and there are a couple lots that are owned by MRC. But essentially it would be, and I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Pause this for 1 second. I'm going to go here. I'm going to look this up. 808 North Mulberry. 836 North Jefferson. And 726 North Jefferson. Okay, now let's go back to here and hear what these are.
Exactly what these addresses are, but because of the zoning, they're allowed to do, we'll have to go to planning and get some of those addresses changed, but they would be building 6 townhomes is what their proposal is, with garages in the back, green space behind the houses, some green space in front. I believe, they've designed, they know the standards from our variance board and zoning planning commission. I'm not saying it complies with everything. I don't know. We haven't dug into that far request. And so at the next meeting, we'll probably ask for some type of action. I just wanted you to be aware that we do have an interest from a local builder to build 6 townhomes that would be available for sale. And that, I think, will be helpful for that neighborhood to have some additional home ownership. It does not involve the corner or Columbus Avenue at this particular time. It is lots that are on Walnut. So probably 710, 712, whatever those numbers are, ones that are not on that corner. And so they have a little packet there of some things that
the guy gets up and he says the actual
probably
addresses.
Well,
Learn, commit.
be other.
Just townhomes is of the townhomes
project that's going on over.
I thought it was of,
Why don't you come up?
in Muncie. There's 2 unit types essentially, and we're kind of looking at this. If you look at the site plan, our whole goal was to look at this as more of a holistic project. Where we're talking about the corner of Columbus and Walnut, even on down into the Columbus towards the neighborhood, and north of Walnut towards the river, and kind of trying to think about this first phase of the townhomes, but also have a generalistic view on what the whole project's going to look like, or what the whole project could be, over the next 5 or 10 years. There's the background and history there. These lots, I believe, is the most northern one is 718, and I think it goes down to 710 for the first, 710 through 718. So it's 6 townhomes on 4 lots.
Okay, so now we got that. All right, we're there. This is Jonathan Chambliss. Yes. So that's good night, Alva. That's what we got going on there. So I'm going to now go just briefly here and look and see what Beacon says about the properties that were bought back in October. Real quick here. Let's go look and see what that says. A second. Okay, here we are. Whoops. Everything up. All right, so 808 North Mulberry. Okay, that's interesting. So $808 North Mulberry still is, well, I'll take you guys and let you see what we're looking at. So 808 North Mulberry Street, City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. They never did anything with whatever that was that we looked at in October for True Builders. They never did anything with 836 North Jefferson. City of Muncie Redevelopment owns that. And nothing happened with that after 2017, so nothing happened last year. We'll look up 726 North Jefferson. And there's nothing listed. So Jefferson. So I don't really know what the deal is there. But is the city wanting to give this guy money? 811 North Elm. All right, let's go look at 811 North Elm. All right, here we go. 811 North Elm is Jonathan Chambliss. He purchased that for $17,000 in November of 2022. So that is interesting. So, folks, I'm bringing this to your attention because after we took a look at what was going on once we took a look at what was going on with the Redevelopment Commission last Thursday on my last show, and then we took Friday off, and Saturday night we did the show with Catherine Callahan from Madison County, I was interested in these last minute things. Of course, I've been looking into the YMCA deal, and I've been looking into this Jonathan Chambliss. And someone had sent me an email questioning the validity of Jonathan Chambliss's buildings. Chambliss, they saying, not building, the construction company or whatever it is, saying they've only been in business for a month. So we started looking that up on the Indiana Secretary of State's website. Of course, that's true. We've got these minutes saying that the city of Muncie entered into some kind of a deal with Chambliss back in October of 2022 to sell lots for $1,000. And he buy all of these properties from MRC back in November for $1,000? No. I mean, I don't know what he did. We looked them up, and the city of Muncie still owned them. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't have been switched over, because he bought that property we just looked up. He bought 811 North Elm Street in November of 2022, and it was listed over. So we've got to wonder what's going on here. And I was always going to talk about this tonight. And then I woke up this morning to Andrew Dale's write-up on this. And I thought, oh my God, this is just too good to be true. Too good to be CRU. It is too good to be CRU and true, and everything else that rhymes with that. So I just wanted to point this out, that here yet again, we have a situation where some friend or buddy of Mayor Ridenour is coming before us and wanting some kind of special treatment for some kind of nonsense that we know very little about. Annie's saying, so why is this having to go through the MRC now? Well, I would assume because the MRC owns these properties. I don't really understand what's currently going on, and it's going to take some more digging. So we'll hopefully get some record request returns on this stuff really quickly. If he owns the property, why is he having to go through the city for approval? He doesn't own the property. No. I think you're confused. He does not own the property at 718 through 710. Walnut 718 North Walnut is the City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. Here we are. The City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission got this on June 1st, 2023. So we just got this. Wait a minute. No, they're different properties, Annie. You're I don't know if you're following along. All right, so in October of 2022, the MRC approved 808 North Mulberry, 836 North Jefferson, and 726 North Jefferson. They approved those properties, but yet it looks as though, even though they approved it, the deal never went through. He did, however, purchase 811 North Elm Street from somebody that wasn't the city. And he bought it for $17,000. So it was like, instead of buying 3 properties from the city for $3,000, he bought another property for $17,000. Now, the other day, just last Thursday, he went through the MRC for 6 properties along Walnut Street, basically from 718 through 710 North Walnut, north to south. And the question is, what's going on there? It's also interesting to me that obviously the mayor has been dealing with these people for a while, but their business, CRU, just went through, the city just got the 718 in July. Well, Dan's been working with these people for a while, but they just started their CRU business in July. Let's look at 710. Oh, 710 North Walnut is Delaware Advancement. And they got theirs October 2022. $712 North Walnuts, Delaware Advancement. 714 is City of Muncie Redevelopment Commission. They got that on September of 2016. 716 North Walnut, Muncie Redevelopment Commission. They got that in February 2023. And then, of course, 718. So this is something that is just right now on the early stages of needing to be dug through. Yes, I believe that Dogtown isn't Dogtown Phil Telvis and the guy that owns Elm Street. Yes, I do believe that's true. So, look, I'm not saying that anything bad is happening here, but I'm certainly not saying anything good is happening here either. I'm saying this looks like just one more of the mayor's harebrained ideas. The question is, can the city of Muncie deal with this for another 4 years? I don't think so. I don't think that it can. Listen to me. At the end of the day, I'm not expecting our elected officials to be superhuman. I'm not expecting them to do things that are so above and beyond that we are all going to go, wow, you guys are amazing. But I'm not just going to roll over and say, wow, you guys are amazing simply because you're not going to prison. When they are elected to do the damn job that we elect them to do, that's what they're expected to do. That's their job. They don't get a prize or a special treat simply because they're doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum is not good enough. And I feel like the mayor of Muncie has ran the last 3 years, going on 4 years now, of his administration. He's ran it like it's been his own personal playground where he could do whatever he wanted, help his friends that he wanted to help, not help the people that he don't want to help, and just do whatever he could do without having any other input or questions, and that's just not okay. If the MRC sells property, does it have to be open? I think so. I think it does. I think the reason that I think the reason it wasn't in that last deal in the August, from what the minutes were saying, is because it had been put out for a public sale and nothing happened. So then that allowed for it to go through without the same process. But generally speaking, yeah, I believe so. I don't know if Andrew Dale, I don't know if Andrew Dale's still here or not. And I know that he's not on YouTube, so he can't see that question, but he should be able to see it because it was up on the screen. But if not, they gift it. But not if they gift it. Yeah. That's a really good, I don't know. Again, something seems wrong here. Something definitely seems wrong here. And if he's not here, I'll ask him. And listen, for those out there that say, oh, well, it's Andrew Dale, he's helping Robinson, whatever. Look, bottom line is he spent 2.5 or 3 years on the MRC. So he is familiar with this stuff. He spent time on that board. So he knows the ins and outs of this board. He left the board because he was always the odd man out, trying to fight against the mayor doing this nonsense crap. All right, folks. That's it for this evening. I've had a very shitty day. I almost canceled this one to begin with, but I'm glad we got through it. I'm glad we did what we needed to do. Here's the situation. We're going to keep looking through this. Tomorrow's Monday, which means the deputy chief from Henry County should be back to work. Hopefully he's back. I hope and pray that his COVID is gone and he can return to work, get back to work, and we will know about our record requests down there. We've got a lot of records requests out in the pots. I'm going to be letting you guys know here real soon about the candidate interviews. Brando is working on some things behind the scenes, and we are getting ready to kick it into overdrive here on the channel as far as other static videos, shorts, and other content. So you guys hold on to your butts. Hit that bell for those of you that are subscribed to the channel. For those of you that are not subscribed to the channel, you better get subscribed to the channel. Hit all of this stuff over in here. Give us a like on the way out the door. Yeah, Beanbag Gate, absolutely. I think that gentleman is heading out the door. And the PS postscript tonight for the political spotlight PS moment simply is this: if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be crew. And you can live on that. All right, good night. Take care. God bless. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening at the same time, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Goodbye.